Hello, and thank you for your interest in using Accent Leave Manager to manage study leave for postgraduate doctors, dentists and learners. I'm Andy Petherbridge. I'm the Regional Business Support Account Manager for the Midlands and East of England at Health Education England, and I'll be speaking about the benefits of Accent Leave Manager, an overview of the system, and the planned rollout across England. So how does Leave Manager work? Here's the approval process as it generally exists pre-Leave Manager. I'm using the term learner throughout this as a collective term for anyone on an HEE training programme, whether a postgraduate doctor, dentist, or non-clinical learner, such as some of those in public health. Most of the admin for leave requests fell to the learner, being required to email a form, or worse, take a paper physical form to various parties in order to get their leave approved. This put a lot of onus on the learner to know who they need to send their request to, even for hospitals that they've never rotated to before. And there were instances of a request form being lost in the post or an email being missed by a recipient, and all too easily requests could fall between the cracks. Then, at the end of the process from the learner's perspective, they claimed their expenses from the trust, and after a few weeks to a month, this would get reported to HEE. A big downside for us, quite apart from the burden on learners, trusts and educators, was that we didn't know until the reports or invoices arrived from the trust what kind of costs learners might need to be claiming, and we never knew what other activities our learners were accessing without claiming and had no record of the approval process. So with Leave Manager, instead, the system is put at the centre of the admin process, and we have it do all the heavy lifting instead. The learner submits their leave request on Leave Manager, which you'll see later in this video, and is based on their placement at the time. The leave request is routed to the relevant approvers. These are determined based on the approval chains, which could be unique to that learner, such as their educational or clinical supervisor, a specific approver or group of approvers based on the site or department, such as a practice manager in GP or a group of rota coordinators managing a hospital department, the medical education department for a whole hospital, or the training program director for a whole program. Leave Manager allows setting up of whatever route is appropriate for the learner and their request, the hospital, the program, or even the region. Whatever the appropriate setup, Leave Manager will facilitate this. This means that learners don't need to know their approvers' emails, or even who the approvers are. The system has all of this data and will route their application automatically. This also means that at any time, learners, HEE, and where authorised, rota coordinators, TPDs, and trust medical education can see the current status of a leave request and allow learners to communicate directly with their approvers through Accent without the need for additional emails. So what are some of the benefits that offers? As an online solution, there's no more need for applicants to carry paper copies of their application forms to their new rotations or track down an approver's email address. The application and approval process is built into the online portal, available on both desktop and mobile devices. There's no more losing of application forms. Applicants can see their applications at any time in their account, and approvers can simply log into their accounts to approve any outstanding requests, with no dependence on post or emails. And it doesn't matter where the leave takes place or in what department, whether it's paediatrics at Nottingham University Hospitals in the Midlands, cardiology at Liverpool University Hospitals in the Northwest, or core surgery at University Hospitals Plymouth in the Southwest. All applications can be submitted through Leave Manager. And because all of this data is linked to programme and placement data, schools, programmes and trusts can get detailed insights into how study leave is being used and whether their learners are getting fair access to study leave and expenses. Let's take a quick look at the system in action from the perspective of an applicant. This would be a postgraduate doctor, dentist, or other learner appointed to a training programme with Health Education England. When you log into the system, you'll see a screen similar to this. You can rearrange the tiles to most suit your common needs. For example, I can drag out my applications to here, and it will now appear on the home page. Under the Leave Manager section, you'll see a section for your applications, budgets, entitlements, and expenses. We're going to look at submitting a leave request using Leave Application. First, select the dates of leave that you plan to take. You can select these from the calendar, or you can manually type the dates in. Select the leave type that you plan to take from the drop-down. And if you need to amend the number of days, for example, this leave takes place over 3 days, but if you only need to claim 2 of those as study leave, as you're not working for one of those days, simply amend the number of days to reflect the number of study leave days that you need to claim. If you have more than one concurrent placement for the period of time covered, you can select the appropriate placement here. Otherwise, it will auto-select for you. When you're ready, click Save. Confirm that the details are correct. Once you continue from here, you won't be able to edit the dates or the type of leave. Depending on your local process, you may have some pre-approved activities available to you in the list here. Otherwise, click the toggle to say that your event does not appear in the list above. And complete the aspirational event name free text box. Depending on your local process, the entitlement type will be set up automatically based on the event that you choose. If you need to, you can add files relevant to the leave request using the Select Files option here, or by dragging and dropping files into the box here. If applicable, fill in the course reference, venue, provider, and website boxes, although these are not mandatory. If applicable in your area, any entitlements that you have for this period will appear here, and any budget will appear here. If you have more than one applicable entitlement or budget for this period, you'll need to click to select which one you want to use. Otherwise, this will be auto-selected for you. Check the box to confirm that you've checked other members of your department are not on leave, and therefore leaving the department short-staffed, and complete any appropriate information that may be relevant to your approvers, the person covering for you, your educational supervisor, your rota manager, and any additional comments here. Again, these boxes aren't mandatory, but may help your approvers make a faster decision. If you have any expenses to claim, you can add these by clicking the Add button and completing the boxes here. Again, you can add files by choosing Select Files here, or by dragging and dropping into this box here. When you're ready, click Submit Leave Application to submit your request, or if you'd like to save your request to come back later, click Save and Back. When you click Submit, you'll be asked to confirm that you're happy to submit your application. Once this has been submitted, you won't be able to edit any of the details in your application. If you want to check the progress of any of your leave requests, open up the My Applications section and open up the request. You'll see any draft requests will also appear here if you need to resume completion of them. You'll see all the details you completed here, and when you scroll down to the bottom, you'll see the approval chain for the request. If you need to, you can message your approvers individually or use the Message All function to message everyone at that stage in the sequence. You'll see KSA next to some approvers. This stands for Key Sequence Approver and means that only one approver in that sequence needs to approve the request in order for it to progress to the next sequence. Bear in mind that anyone at a later stage in the sequence won't be able to see the request until it's been approved by people in the previous sequence. Now we'll take a look at it from the point of view of an approver, a rota manager or supervisor working on behalf of a hospital, practice or other training site, or a senior educator working on behalf of a training program or school. When you log in as an approver, you'll see a screen similar to this. You can go to the Leave Manager folder and select the appropriate section, or you'll see messages up at the top. Go into Unread Messages, and you'll see any notifications that you received relating to leave requests. Click on the message, and you'll see a summary of the request received. Click on the link to go to the leave application and take action. You can review the information submitted here, And down at the bottom, you'll see a section to approve the application or reject the application. If you choose to reject, you'll need to provide a reason for the rejection. If you click approve, you have the option to add a comment to the approval. This is not required for approvals. You can also go to Outstanding Approvals to see all applications awaiting your approval, Previous Approvals to review anything that you've previously approved, or Previous Rejections to see anything that you've previously rejected. So you've seen some of the first three benefits that I've listed, but what about data insights? By linking study leave data with training data already held in HEE's Trainee Information System, or TIS, we can run a wide variety of reports. Instead of trusts having to report the expenses that they've paid out each month for HEE to reimburse, HEE can report this data directly from Accent every month. HEE and trusts can monitor approval times and provide support to any individuals or departments that may be struggling to approve requests, improving the experience for applicants. We can see the usage of study leave and expenses between programs, months, years, anything that we need. Here we can see the difference in applications between April 2019 and March 2022, a clear demonstration of the impact of COVID-19 on access to study leave. Schools and training programs can see what the most popular courses are, both in their region and nationally, supporting smarter use of funding to reduce upfront spend for postgraduate doctors, dentists and learners, allowing more funding for aspirational activities. And by linking with demographic data, we can monitor equality of access. Here you can see that although the majority of requests in the School of Surgery this year were from male identifying postgraduate doctors, the percentage of requests approved or rejected is consistent. If there is disproportionate treatment, then HEE, training programs and trusts have the data necessary to investigate. Accent Leave Manager is loosely planned for rollout nationally by April 2023, but this is subject to change as the project evolves. Each local office or region at HEE has an internal contact address for study leave support and queries. But for more information about the rollout of Accent Leave Manager, please contact Addy at the address on screen. So that's Accent Leave Manager. It offers a paperless, streamlined experience, an audit trail ensuring no lost applications, a more consistent experience both within regions and nationally, and detailed insights about how study leave is being used and how we can improve the experience for postgraduate learners at HEE. For more information about the rollout, please contact Addy at the address on screen. Thank you for your time.